Okay, we are to consider the circle geometry 2. I have done circle geometry 1 where I considered or treated or started with midpoint of a chord. Midpoint of a chord. Then after that, we consider the angles in a circle. The angles in a circle. And after the angles in a circle, we also look at angle in a semicircle. Angle in a semicircle, which is always 90 degrees. Then after that, we consider the angles in the same segment. Angles in the same segment. And finally, we also look at cyclic quadrilateral. And what do you mean by cyclic quadrilateral? That is, opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary angles. Okay, so that is all about circle geometry 1. Now, under the circle geometry 2 right now, we want to look at the secant and tangent. The secant and tangent. And after the secant and tangent, we want to look at intersecting chords. Intersecting chords. And after the intersecting chord, we want to look at the alternate segment. Alternate segment. And finally, we are going to look at the intersecting and touching circles. Intersecting and touching circle. So these are the 4 things that we need to consider on our circle geometry 2. Now let's look at the secant. We said a secant is a straight line. A secant is a straight line which cuts a circle at 2 distinct points, such as A and B. In the diagram below, the MN is a secant, and the part AB of the secant is the chord. This is a circle, and we have a straight line M and N. Then this straight line M and N is known as a secant, while AB is known as a chord. So when we draw another line, this one is A and this one is B, and we draw another M and N, which is what? Another chord A1 and B1. What's happened? Then we have another one. Once until MN reaches what? Or touches what? C, which is known as what? Which is known as the tangent. And what is tangent? A tangent is what? Is a straight line that touches a circle at only one point. That is a tangent. A straight line that touches a circle at only one point. So by the time this N and N touches the circle, and this point of where M touches what? MN touches what? T is known as the point of contact. The point of contact or the point of tangency. You can call it the point of contact or the point of tangency. Now, we say tangent if we draw lines parallel to what? MN as shown in the diagram above. The position of A and B move closer and closer. As I said, you draw this line AB and you draw another line A1, AB, and you draw another line A2 and what? B2, and you draw another line which is what? MN. You will discover that this line touches what? The circle at what? At T, and that point of touching is known as what? Is known as point of contact or point of tangency. Okay? Then until they coincide at T, I have explained until they do what? They coincide at T. So let's wait or let's watch out for the next subtopic, which is what? Tangent. Okay? Thank you.